to all you Virgos. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for September 2014. And I'm very excited for the Virgos, not only because it's my birthday, because I'm a Virgo myself, but because there are some nice things going on for the Virgos. And it's very nice to have, if you have your birthday around that time, because you've got Venus for almost a whole month in your sign. So for those who have a birthday in September, happy birthday. And let's have a look what this month will bring in general. If you have planets in the sun or a moon or an ascendant in Virgo, what does it mean? Well, to start off, Venus in your sign is very, very nice. So every 1 month a year, Venus, the planet of values, the planet of balance, the planet of relationship, is in your sign. And that means that you're feeling good about yourself. And that only is for a Virgo very interesting, because Virgos are very, in general, they are very perfectionists. So it's not, they're very strict to themselves, and they're not easily content with themselves. And when Venus is in their sign, it makes it a bit easier. It makes life a lot easier for the Virgos. So that is a nice thing to start with. But the most important thing of the month is definitely the Jupiter trine to Uranus. Now this is quite rare, so it doesn't happen that often, and Jupiter and Uranus in a trine is a trine means an easy energy, easygoing energy. So it means that the two planets work with each other instead of against each other. So what does it mean for the Virgo? So we will all feel that energy. First of all, the energy of Uranus in Aries in combination with Jupiter in Leo. It is about individuality. It is about escaping from the boundaries, but not in a negative way. It's not really escaping. It is breaking free from something, and a sudden windfall, you could say. Now, with Jupiter, Jupiter is a planet of expansion, optimism, meaningfulness, and in Leo, it makes people very generous and very open-hearted, so to follow your heart, you could say. And when that makes a trine with a very daring Uranus, who wants to liberate, who wants to be very true and honest, and certainly in Aries, it means that we will all have this eye-opener somewhere in our lives. And for the Virgos, it's very interesting because it happens in the 12th house versus the axis of the 2nd and the 8th house. Now, what does it mean for the Virgo? So, on a collective level, we all will have opportunities, definitely. And opportunity that we don't expect. Now for the Virgo, it is about the 12th house issues, because Jupiter has been transiting your 12th house, a very hidden house. It's the house in Leo just before the sign of Virgo. And it's a secretive house, it's a hidden house, but it's also the house of relaxation. And I think I already mentioned it last month. If there is one thing a Virgo is not that good at, I mean in general, it's relaxing, because there's always something to do for the Virgo, and there's always a need to improve oneself. And what the Virgo is learning with Jupiter in the 12th house, especially for the whole year actually, it is to relax. It is to how to feel good about oneself and having, yes, plenty of work, but now it's time to relax, and to in your everyday that you have this maybe just a couple of minutes or maybe 15 minutes that it's time off. And for the Virgos, it will be a good time to start doing that, and very beneficial for your psychological health, for your physical health, and all of that. So this sudden windfall that everybody will have during the month of September, because this is building up towards the end of the month, it will have to do with that. It will have to do with maybe possibilities to do something that has to do with relaxing a little bit more in your life. And certainly if you have been having a stressful time, because Virgo is a sign that's very sensitive to stress, and because there's not much needed to have stress for the Virgo, because they go into all those little details, and even a detail can be very important if it's not working. So that's how the Virgo operates. And it also has to do with the 2nd house and the 8th house, which are value houses, which are money houses as well, you could say. So houses, areas of life, are on different levels, always. So for one Virgo, it will have to do with maybe a sudden windfall financially. And this Uranus is in Aries, which is for the Virgo the 8th house. And the 8th house is always the possessions of the person that is close to you, or maybe of institutions, of loans, or tax refunds, returns, sorry, not refunds. So it can be a financial little out of nowhere as well, a financial positive adventure. But not an adventure, but you know, when you are that kind of Virgo that has been working very hard and to earn some money, and some money can come to you out of the blue, and especially around the end of the month, where there is a new moon. There's a new moon in Libra on the 24th, so it's at the end of the month. So new beginnings when it comes to that 8th house, which is a financial house. But for others, it won't have to do with money. It will have to do with value of other people. So there's a new beginning when it comes to other people valuing your talents. This is also something really interesting going on for the Virgos, because there is this tension building up in the beginning of the month towards the middle of the month, when Mercury, your ruling planet, opposes this Uranus and squares up to Pluto. So Mercury will be approximately the whole month in Libra, and that's your 2nd house. So your mind, your thoughts are on these items of money, self-worth, your talents and your resources. So it all has to do with these areas of life that sudden windfalls can come to you. So expect the unexpected and be open to it. Relax. It is often so that if you relax and let go of the tension, that good things come your way. And so I mentioned a couple of things, but the last thing it can be is that it has to do with transformation, because the 8th house is also about transformation. The things that, because there is a new moon there, it means that there are things that you have accomplished when it comes to battling your anxieties. So the 8th house is the house of fears and is the house of strength. So we always become stronger when we can attack a little fear or a big fear. So for some Virgos, it will have to do with that, because Uranus and Jupiter liberates. That's very simply explained. It liberates from the chains that we all have. So, and with the chains, I don't mean that in a negative way, because we all have responsibilities in our life. And for some it is work, for others it is children, you know, because you just had a child, for instance, you need to, you can't go for the promotion at work, for instance, or your love life is giving you some restrictions, etc., etc. We all have restrictions in certain periods in our lives. But this Jupiter-Uranus trine means that there is liberation coming for one restriction that you have, maybe more, you never know, because Jupiter also means plenty. So there is liberation to come when it comes to things that hold you a bit back from growing and expanding. And it has to do with the houses I just mentioned. So the house of relaxation, letting go a little bit of the tension, letting go of the control, you could say, and also those houses of those money houses and those houses of value and self-worth. So there are some breakthroughs when it comes to self-confidence, which is really important for Virgos, or for all signs, but especially for Virgos as well, because they are so keen on those little imperfections to solve them. So very good month, and you will have, for a lot of Virgos, that will be in your solar return, so that's really, really nice. So that's the most important thing. Some details. Around the 9th, there is a full moon in your 7th house of relationships, so you can expect around that time that things come to light when it comes to relationships. So things that you didn't know, or things that you didn't know about that other person who's close to you, or things that you have accomplished with someone else in your life. There is a tricky day though, around, but it's just 1 day or 2 days, because a lot of planets are crossing the mutable signs, and then they always have to cross Neptune. And Neptune is in your 7th house of relationships, and Neptune can be a bit foggy and a bit misty when aspects are formed in difficult angles. Like this time, this will be the case with Venus. So Venus is in your sign, but it will oppose Neptune around, let's say, around about the 10th. So if things are very unclear around the 10th, don't do anything. Wait until the next day and you'll be fine. But in a good way, this can mean that you are more seductive than ever, more mesmerizing than ever. Venus of opposite Neptune, Venus in your sign. So you can be easily seduced, but you can seduce easier as well. So, so that's for around the 10th and the 11th. And then Mars, the planet of action, is in your 4th house for around the 14th, so around the middle of the month. Mars comes into your 4th house. This is also a very important transit because it's an angle house, and it also squares up to Neptune, and that will be around the end of the month. So with the end of the month, around the 21st, the 22nd, 23rd, watch your intentions, what you want to do. If your intentions are clean and are sincere, then you don't have to worry at all, because it has to do with your home situation and with your relationship. So maybe there is some tension there around those days, but it has to do with maybe you just want to change the furniture or something, with Mars in the 4th house. But these are the, just a couple of tricky days. But as Mercury is your ruler for Virgo, there is transformation going on as well during the month of September. Why? Because Mercury, being in Libra, it squares up to Pluto, and it opposes Uranus, and this is transformational energy. So I talked already about that, but it has to do with those big changes that you want to, well, not necessarily big changes. What can be big for you is maybe very little for someone else, but it has to do with changes that you have not been daring to do. And Venus also trines Pluto around the 14th and the 15th. So again, I think with Venus in your sign, that already on its own is very nice to have, to attract people to you. So if you want a new relationship, or if you want more clients, or if you want to achieve more when it comes to your work as well. And but with Venus trining Pluto, opposing Neptune, there's quite some intensity going on as well when it comes to you expressing yourself, showing who you really are, especially around the middle of the month with that Venus in a trine with Pluto. So if your birthday is around the middle of the month, it's going to be a very intense love year. So that's pretty nice, I hope, because it's a trine. So it's very nice energy. So that's what for the Virgos. I think a very interesting month, a month to look forward to. I wish you again a happy birthday, and see you next month. And if you want a reading, get in touch, and all the details are below. Thank you. Bye bye.